Let me recap here. The information required for a manufacturing company to start planning its operations depends primarily on demand. That means how much of quantity of the product is required during the week. Not only that, once we know the demand, we should also know the price of it, because then only can we calculate the amount of money or throughput that we have generated in the week by selling. Then we should also know the rate at which I can manufacture all these items. Going back to the fundamentals, I need to have a routing and I need to have the rate of manufacturing of these components or sub-assemblies at every stage. This is again the fundamental information required through any IT system for a manufacturing organization to take a decision whether they can produce or not, and if they can produce, what is going to be the load coming on their resources. So this layout is a very simple depiction of a physically complex layout in manufacturing organizations, but this is the most accurate and technically correct representation. Building blocks of any manufacturing information system are here. We have the bill of materials, we have the sales price, and we have the process layout and our resources in front of us. Look at it again. All the information that one needs to run or take decisions in a manufacturing organizations are here on one screen. You know how much of money you're making by selling, you know how much of time you have, and you have the ability to take a decision or stop manufacturing as and when you want. These are control buttons on the left. But you also know exactly at what time which resource is processing which material. Now this is way beyond the capability of current IT systems. So for managers to say that they don't have accurate information or data from the shop floor coming to you, here is the situation where you have the most precise and accurate data coming to you, what has been produced. That means minute by minute you can take a call that I should have produced this much, yes, it has been produced or not. There is no lag between the time the item gets produced and the information that comes to you. All this in front of your eyes. This allows you to then implement your policies very well, because it is through these policies that the company's cultures and behavior on the shop floor are governed. Like I said, we are a very efficient company. We are technically competent because we have all the data required, all the information required, and the capturing and reporting is also done very efficiently. That means our IT, our information systems are well in place. What is the variance? Variance is deviation from the plan. So if we focus on reduction of this variance from the plan, we will be on the plan. In other words, the culture that comes out of this way of managing production is plan versus actuals. The management is constantly involved in trying to see what was planned and what is the actual. I don't know how much of ability they have to correct the deviation, but any deviation from plan is considered not good. In other words, we are telling ourselves that there is variation and variability everywhere. And if there is variability everywhere, try to work hard and reduce variability everywhere. we spread ourselves too thin. The resources are limited. We may land up overstaffing. We may land up losing focus. In fact, we will lose focus because focusing everywhere amounts to focusing nowhere. So we are saying that just because there's so much of variability in the system, we are not able to predict the outcome. And to predict the outcome, we do better planning. And the plan again does not meet its objective, so again we replan. Now there's another wisdom here. If the success of the plan or the success of the outcome depends on your ability to replan, every organization should even develop the capability to develop a new plan at the shortest possible time. But I see many organizations who think that planning is the core of their business and still don't have the ability to plan and replan as quickly as they should. That means the planning process in itself may be methodical, may be systematic, but it requires a lot of time. So any small change or deviation from the plan does not allow the team or the company to replan quickly, and hence over a period of time the plan starts losing its sanctity and the deviation from the outcome is taken for granted, or we will have to live with the outcome. Efficiency-driven management has taught us many things, and one of the policy that comes out of that mindset is trying to make sure that we do not waste time doing setups. So we have a batch policy. For this company, let's assume that we shall make a decision on a policy of batch size of 20. That means that every time we do a setup change, we will process 20 units. And then whenever 20 units have been processed, then they get moved on to the next level. This definitely is possible, and also make sure that there's very less movement. Whenever somebody is moving one thing, there's substantial amount to move, and we don't force unnecessary setup changes by saying that, okay, I need to manufacture something else, I need to manufacture something else. Why? Because the batch size being less will force on us multiple setup changes. I was told that the problem in managing production stems from many reasons, and they were: the clients change their mind, the vendors never supply on time, there are too many absenteeisms, my workforce is not predictable, and they aren't actually fully trained, and our processes are less reliable, and our machines break down. Our quality is good, okay, but not always consistent. On top of that, my reporting or the data that I need to be on my table for me to plan or replan or take corrective action is also not accurate. This is what was told to me. Now here, I'm giving a situation where clients never change their mind, vendors always supply whenever we ask for, on time, we do not have any absenteeism problems with our workforce, and they are excellently trained and disciplined, and our processes are reliable, and our machines never break down, and our quality is superb, and all the data I need is readily available and accurate. And after that, I decide on the policies. And this is what is now being reflected in this layout. You have this layout where I have decided in what sequence I'm going to manufacture. I'm going to decide when and what raw material will go on which machine. And for increasing the utilization of machines, I also have a batch size fixed. My policies are in place, and I know that none of my previous grievances, that means the inherent variations in my processes, are active. This is an ideal situation. Let me see if by using my policies, or let me see if by using the current policies that we see in manufacturing organizations, is it possible for us to make enough money. That means either I make the maximum money, that means I dispatch the whole demand, or I at least get near to it. Making a loss is definitely not possible. In this simulation exercise, we will be able to systematically work, take decisions, and in the end get an unbiased report to us to tell us how we performed.